What's going on, guys? MMA Professor back again. For the first time in a long time, I get 15 minutes now. The YouTube, that's awesome. 15 minutes. Whew. May cut down on the two-part videos. Not going to eliminate it completely, but been really busy lately. I haven't gotten a lot of videos out. I'm going to try to start doing more videos, get back into the swing of things, and generally, Wisconsin, you only have like 3 months of the year where it's summertime and you can go out and like it's nice out. We're getting into September now, starting to get colder out. It's going to start snowing fairly soon, and not much going on. So let's get into this. This is my first video of probably a couple that I'm going to do. If you guys want me to do Shark Fights 13 predictions, I'll do them. I'll do a video on it if anybody wants me to do it on it. It's Shark Fights is this Saturday. I won't be able to watch most of it because I will be at work this weekend. But I'll do predictions for it. I'll watch the fights afterwards. Still watching MMA all the time, even though the last UFC card pissed me off to no end. With just terrible, because now Florian's gonna learn how to wrestle, right? Yeah, okay. Enough of that. Let's get into UFC Fight Night 22 predictions. I'm gonna do the undercard. I'm gonna do something special, and then we'll get into the main card. Brian Foster against Forrest Petz. Forrest Petz shouldn't be in the UFC. It was proven his first time. It was his first run in the UFC. Decent striker, which is what he hangs his hat on, but he's not really all that great at it. He has been submitted a bunch of times. He's just not a UFC caliber fighter. Brian Foster, is he? He's lower tier, lower mid tier, somewhere around that UFC fighter. UFC fighter material nonetheless, because of his wrestling, good power in his hands, really aggressive. Trains with Matt Hughes. I'm going to pick Foster in this one. Foster, the one thing I was looking at in this one, Foster really has never gone to a decision. And I'm going to pick him to win this fight. But Forrest Petz is hard to finish, so I'm going to pick Brian Foster to win a first decision that he's ever had in his career. Top control. He may submit Forrest Petz. Maybe something from topside. He may get him with a guillotine. Petz has been subbed with a guillotine a couple times, I think. Maybe a Kimura from top, but Brian Foster, definitely UD. David Mitchell, Anthony Waldberger. David Mitchell, pretty good prospect, very good grappler, mostly a grappler. Not so much finishing by TKOs. The thing in this one, he's going to get the fight to the ground, and Waldberger's been susceptible to punches on the ground. His ground and pound defense is not that good. So I'm going to pick David Mitchell. First TKO stoppage in his career, late first round. Rich Adenito against Rafael Natal. I watched Rafael Natal's fight. Yeah, I mean, he won by TKO in his last fight against Travis Lutter. Travis Lutter was completely gassed within 2 minutes of that fight. Natal's striking is pretty rudimentary. He backs up a lot. Not good against a guy like Rich Adenito, who is very aggressive, pretty good wrestler, decent power in his hands. And I think Adenito can stay out of submissions the entire time. We'll see. I've never really been one of those guys that I've never been impressed with Natal. Maybe he'll prove me wrong in this one, but I got Rich Adenito by late TKO or unanimous decision. Thomas Duvall against Dave Branch. Once again, another tough matchup for Dave Branch. Yeah, in his last fight, Gerald Harris gave him a tough fight, was winning the entire fight, KO'd him with a slam. Duvall pretty much kind of the same type of fighter. Power in his hands, good wrestler, and if Duvall can stay out of submissions and not crazily slip on the UFC logo in the middle of the mat and get caught in a heel hook, he should be all right in this one. I'm going to pick Duvall by, I think he's going to finish it a little earlier than Gerald Harris. He's a little more of an aggressive fighter. Actually, probably a lot more than Harris. Harris kind of stays back a lot. So I'm going to pick Thomas Duval on this one. I think he may, if he doesn't finish it with an early TKO, he'll still win the fight, although I think he'll lose the third round because his gas tank is not that good. So he may lose the third round, but he'll do enough to win the first two to win a decision. But I'm going to pick a early TKO or decision. That's what I'm going to say. Jared Hammond against Kyle Kingsbury. Yeah. Kingsbury has wrestling to put it down where he wants, but Hammond has pretty good power, even though he's fairly sloppy with his striking. His thing on the feet is like, he's not Alexander Gustafsson where Kingsbury has the power to really do anything to Hammond to keep him from doing that. So I'm going to pick Jared Hammond, early TKO. Kyle Kingsbury could very well, if Hammond doesn't finish it early, take him down consistently and just win like a split decision or something like that. Potential to be a pretty crap fight. John Gunderson against Yves Edwards. Edwards coming back to the UFC. Another tough one. I think Yves' best days are behind him. He may win against some lower tier. Gunderson isn't really lower tier. I mean, he's not really great at any one aspect of MMA, but he's pretty well rounded, and he's got the wrestling to put Yves down for 3 rounds and hang with him on the feet. So I'm going to pick John Gunderson, unanimous decision. So there's the preliminary card picks. So a while ago, I don't remember what card it was on, but Notorious E-Dubs on here. EBW returns. He got into a bet with Todd Wentworth on Twitter, and if somebody won a fight, he was going to chug a beer, well, on camera for a YouTube video. And he did that video, although he's straight edge, so he doesn't drink at all, so he chugged Dr. Pepper, which is probably a lot harder because I've chugged soda before, and it's not the greatest idea ever. It's a little more difficult. So he didn't do it, so I'll do it for him. Alright, here we go. Wow, I'm full. I just ate dinner. It's a lot easier when you have like a paint stick or a beer bong. So there you go. Paint sticks or beer bongs, a lot easier. Paint sticks, it's the way to go. So let's get into the main card picks here. Grab another one while we have it. Cole Miller against Ross Pearson. Good match making, I think. Ross Pearson could use to go against a fighter who has the ground skills of Cole Miller. Very, very good grappler. Good triangles, good arm bars, decent striking. The thing in this fight, though, Miller better have been working on his wrestling to try and get this fight to the ground. Can he hang on the feet with Pearson? Yeah. He doesn't use his reach all that well on the feet, which is why I say he's a decent striker. He's okay technique-wise. Good leg kicks. But, I mean, he should use his jab more. Just control the distance a little better. But the thing with that is he's a real good grappler, so he likes to get in on people. And he gets in a brawl sometimes. So it's an interesting fight. Pearson's got the power advantage and probably the overall striking advantage. Pearson just needs to keep this on the feet and just beat Cole Miller up and try to knock him out is basically what he needs to try to do. Cole Miller needs to try and get this to the ground. Pull guard if you have to in this one. But he should have been working on his wrestling to try and get this down. Pearson, okay takedown defense, but, you know, obviously can be improved. I'm going to go with Ross Pearson in this one by mid mid-round TKO, second round TKO. I think he'll keep it on the feet. I don't think Miller has what it takes to get it to the ground and get in a top position. And Pearson should be good enough to not get submitted. Can he lose by sub? Oh, it definitely could happen. But I'm going to go Pearson TKO mid-rounds, if not unanimous decision. Jim Miller against Gleason Tebow. I'm picking the upset in this one. And weird, the upset is Jim Miller. Why? I think Tebow has gotten better in his striking. I think Miller is a lot better. His work ethic's a little better. He's going to have the cardio. He's going to push the pace on Tebow. And Tebow, one of the biggest lightweights in the world, really. Loses weight from about 190 and then cuts from like, whatever. But he gets up to about 190, 195. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Jim Miller in this one. Just pushing the pace, putting it on Tebow. I think the wrestling, Tebow, his technical wrestling isn't that good. Yeah, he's big and strong. And Jim Miller has struggled against, Gray Maynard, who's a bigger, stronger wrestler than him. But Tebow is stronger because he's bigger, but he's not technically as good as Jim Miller. BJJ-wise, it's pretty close, so I don't see either fighter finishing. I think it's going to be a close decision. So I'm going to pick Jim Miller, split decision. So there you go. Efren Escudero against Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. Terrible strategy by Darren Elkins in his fight against Do Bronx. Picked him up and tried to slam him. Just completely wrecked. Oliveira is very, very good on the ground. Very good. Very quality lightweight prospect, considering he's only 20 years old as well. Good leg kicks as well. I think he needs to avoid that. You'd think Efren, after his last fight, would be working on his sub defense a little more. And he still has pretty good boxing and decent hands. So I'm going to go Efren Escudero, unanimous decision. Again, would not be surprised if Oliveira was able to pull out a sub at some point. Escudero makes one mistake. It's entirely possible that he could get caught. Yeah, so there you go. Nate Marquardt against Husamal Palhares. This is a tough one to call. A very tough one to call. However, I think Husamal Palhares isn't as good off his back as he is in top position because of just his stature as a human being. He's incredibly strong, compact, good chin. If Henderson could knock out Palhares, Marquardt's definitely not going to be able to, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to happen. Marquardt's going to probably come into the strategy of not throwing leg kicks and probably just working on boxing is what he's going to try and do. It's going to be a GSP plan. It's going to be a GSP strategy. Greg Jackson, that's what he does. Everybody thinks he's this dynamic coach and he puts together these dynamic fighters, but he puts together one strategy. Is he a good strategist? He's okay, but I think he's a little overrated because it's what's going to happen. He's going to use boxing, no leg kicks because he doesn't want to risk getting taken down himself. He doesn't want to get put in a heel hook. He's going to use boxing, maybe late at the end of the rounds, set up takedowns, try to take him down, and then he's in no danger and he scores the points. So I'm going to go Nate Marquardt, unanimous decision, boring fight, I think. It has potential to have some decent fights on this card. I just don't see it overall being that entertaining. We'll see, hopefully. And it's a lead into the next episode of the next season of The Ultimate Fighter, which is great. I'm always excited for an Ultimate Fighter season, even though I know it's the same crap over and 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 over again. But it's something for me to do on Wednesday. I come home, from work, I'm like, oh, sweet, more MMA. I can't really complain about that it's on my TV. You guys stay metal. Later.